So, just a quick review, no? Ano yung mga tatlong important terms natin in regards to motion in one dimension. First is the position. It is your location, the location of a body or a particle with respect to a reference frame or point of reference na tinatawag. If the particle changes in position with respect to time, nagkakaroon siya ng displacement. Displacement is a change in position. Displacement is a vector quantity. And then, the change in displacement or the change in position over a time interval, and that is delta x all over delta t, yun yung tinatawag nating velocity naman. Okay? Velocity is the ratio ng change in displacement or change in position or displacement all over the time. Na-discuss natin on our previous lessons that there are particles that can undergo constant velocity. Kapag constant yung velocity ng ating particle, hindi siya magkakaroon ng acceleration. Why? Because acceleration is the change in velocity, derivative of v or velocity with respect to time. So kapag hindi nag-change yung velocity, that is, if the velocity is constant, the acceleration is zero. And when that happens, we can only know, isa lang yung formula natin for particle under constant velocity. That is, we can only know the final position. Diba? Kasi since velocity is constant, v equals x all over t, and therefore x, or the change in position, is equal to v delta t. Si v ay hindi nagbabago, constant nga. So, ito lang yung equation natin equation ng particles under constant velocity. However, if the velocity changes in time, okay, all over a time interval, the velocity changes, magkakaroon na tayo ng acceleration. And there are times, and very interesting, kapag yung ating acceleration ay naging constant. So, if our particle moves at a constant acceleration, magkakaroon na tayo ng tatlong equation. Ito nga itong mga nakikita natin sa screen. Sina Tito, Vic, and Joey na tinatawag. These equations are derived still from the very definition of acceleration, which is a change in velocity with respect to time, at yung definition ng velocity, which is displacement all over time. So, hindi ko na i-derive, basta kailangan lang nating malaman. Itong tatlong formula na to, kailangan natin siyang ma-memorize, may sa puso, may sa isip, para sa mga examples natin na susunod na. Okay. Ano ba ang, what can we get from these three equations? Given the constant acceleration, pwede nating malaman yung final velocity ng isang particle moving at a constant acceleration given yung kanyang initial velocity, of course, yung constant acceleration and the time. Pwede rin nating malaman sa second equation yung final position ng ating particle or ng ating body or ng object given still yung initial velocity, time, and the acceleration. We can also get yung final velocity in terms of final velocity at saka acceleration and the change in position or yung displacement. Okay, I have to make something clear here. Yung mga ibang formula or yung ibang libro, ang gamit nila is delta t. So, pinalitan ko na siya dito ng t, assuming that the object starts to move at time t equals 0 seconds. So, assuming na 0 palagi yung initial natin, since delta t equals tf minus ti, since magzi-0 naman yan, and para for simplicity, hindi na rin siya natin tatawagin t final or final time, tawagin na lang natin siyang t for time. Yun yung one important thing to remember here. Kasi baka tingnan nyo sa ibang libro or came across nyo sa pagre-research nyo, minsan ganito yung ginagamit, delta T. Okay, for the purpose of our discussion lang, tinanggal ko na siya, ginawa ko siyang T. Okay. Oh. Excuse me. And then, also, sa mga susunod na examples natin, ginawa ko ring mas simple for simplicity. Kadalasan naman kasi, ito yung mga kadalasang nangyayari. Bukod sa time initial or initial time be 0 seconds or 0, kadalasan din yung initial position is 0 din. 0 meters, 0 kilometers. Minsan zero, kaya minsan inuumit na rin tong xi dito. Pero itong Vx tsaka f and Vxi, talagang merong final and initial velocity tayo. Nilalagyan ko lang ng x. Actually, yung ibang libro, tinatanggal to sa formula, yung x. Okay, nilagyan ko lang ng x to denote na one dimension tayo at saka sa x-axis lang. Okay, horizontal motion lang to. Okay, iba din kasi yung motion kapag vertical motion na. Kapag vertical na kasi yung motion natin, yung acceleration natin is affected by gravity. In fact, yung acceleration natin kapag vertical motion is actually gravitational acceleration. So, napapalitan lang naman itong tatlong equation natin, kapag vertical equation na, yung ax natin, nagiging constant na siya na g, which is 9.81. Okay, but sa ating discussion, nilagay ko lang na x para hindi na muna tayo, kasi horizontal motion muna yung focus natin. Kaya nilagyan ko siya ng x. So, yun lang naman yung mga important things or points bago tayo mag-solve. Palitan ko ng kulay. So, one important thing para hindi ko makalimutan yung formula at para tama yung magiging sagot ko is tinitignan ko yung dimension. Tinatawag natin itong dimension analysis. So, alam natin that velocity is distance all over time, which means ang unit ko dapat, for example, kapag SI ang unit ko, meters per second. So, dapat kung ano yung unit ko dito sa left side, dapat yun din yung magiging unit ko sa right side. Dapat uniform yung dimension na lalabas or madiderive. So, as you can see here, dun sa right side, yung velocity natin is also meters per second. So, uniform siya. I mean, pareha siya na meters per second, walang problema. Dito sa second term natin, which is acceleration times time, dapat meters per second din yung lalabas dyan para maging tama yung formula ko. Which is correct naman kasi ang acceleration is meters per second squared. Yun yung unit. Tapos pag minultiplyan natin ng second, so makakancel yung isang second, may matitirang isang second sa baba, kaya meters per second. So dimensionally, correct yung ating formula. So that is one way to make sure na tama yung formula na na-memorize mo. Or baka kapag nag-aalangan ka dun sa memorize mong formula, pwede mong tignan kung yung dimensions pa is nagtutugma. Dito din sa ating second equation, x is position. So, dapat, sa SI unit, meters yan. Position, meters din yan. Si velocity meters per second, multiplyan mo ng time. So, makakancel yung time na second, kaya meters na lang matitira. Still, nagtutugma siya. Tapos, dito sa ating pakantong term, 1/2, walang unit yan, constant. Yung acceleration, meters per second squared. Yung time, second squared kasi may square siya sa formula. So, pag minultiply natin yan, makakancel ulit yung second squared meter. Again, nagtutugma sila. Lahat sila ay meter. That is one way. Kadalasan kasi nakakalimutan ito ng mga estudyante kung saan nakalagay, kung sinong time ang may squared. And minsan nilalagay nila dito. No? When in doubt, isang magandang paraan para ma-check is tignan mo kung nagtutugma yung mga dimensions. But of course, kailangan mong alamin or kailangan alam mo kung ano yung mga dimensions niyan. Okay? Isa-isahin natin nga dito. Position, sa SI unit, meters yan. Length or distance. Velocity is distance over time, which means meters per second. Sa SI sa SI. Pwede rin siya sa English unit, feet per second. Okay? Yung acceleration is the change in velocity all over time. So, kung velocity all over time yan, ang velocity is meters per second. Therefore, ang acceleration natin, dapat ang unit sa SI ay meters per second squared. Yan yung mga unit natin. Huwag yung kakalimutan. So, kapag nire-recall mo na yung formula, pwede mong gamitin yung dimensional analysis na tinatawag just in case na hindi ka sure dun sa gagamitin mong formula. Pero, ang kadalasang ang nakakalimutan ng estudyante dyan is saan nakalagay yung sino sa kanila ang may time squared. Kung itong first equation ba or second equation. So, i-apply ngayon natin itong mga formula na to. Aba, ako ay nagbubura sa mga example problems natin. Okay, I have here example number 1. Ang sabi niya, a jet lands on an aircraft carrier at a speed of 140 miles per hour or 63 meters per second sa SI unit. Tinatanong sa akin, what is the acceleration assumed if it stops in 2 seconds due to an arresting cable that snags the jet and brings it to stop? And letter B, if the jet touches down at initial position 0, what is its final position? So, himay-himayin muna natin. First thing to do is hanapin natin ang mga given. Meron tayong given na speed niya, upon landing, naglanding yung jet, ang speed niya is 140 miles per hour or in SI unit, that is approximately 63 meters per second. So, let's just use the SI unit, 63 meters per second. Bakit? Kasi yung ating time is naka-second. Para hindi na tayo mag-convert sa hours or convert pa natin yung miles to 63 meters per second, given naman na-convert na siya. So, yun na lang yung gamitin natin. So, initially yun yung initial velocity kasi upon landing, okay, pagka-land, yun yung speed niya. Therefore, yung 63 meters per second, yun po ang ating initial velocity. So, our VXI is 63 meters per second. Ngayon, anong nangyari? Pagka-landing niya, para tumigil ngayon itong jet lands, meron tayong tinatawag na arresting cable. Okay? Para siyang sasadyain niyang pahintuin. So, it is a tool para mas mabilis huminto yung ating cable. So, para siyang resistance to motion, kumbaga. Okay. So, sabi niya dito, pagka-landing, nagmo-move yung jet ng 63 meters per second. After that, tinamaan niya yung merong arresting cable para huminto. Okay, huminto, ibig sabihin, ang velocity natin is 0. Tama? Kasi stop. Okay, hindi na gumalaw. So, yung zero na velocity, yun yung final velocity natin. Kasi ang aim natin, di ba, pag maglaland yung jet, syempre, titigil yan dapat para makababa yung pasahero. So, initially, kung gumagalaw siya, dapat ang final velocity niya, hihinto siya. At dahil ngayon sa arresting cable, huminto siya within a period of, ang sabi niya dito, 2 seconds. So, after 2 seconds, huminto siya. So, ang time natin, 2 seconds. Yan. Ang tinatanong sa atin, ano ang acceleration? Assume constant. And ano naman yung final position kung ang initial position niya ay let 0 meters or xi equals 0. So, for letter A, what is acceleration. Okay. Tignan natin yung given at tignan natin, balikan natin yung formula kung saan doon yung merong acceleration at meron yung given para magamit natin. Ayan. Meron tayong initial velocity, final velocity, at saka time. Saan dito ngayon yung masosolve natin yung acceleration? So, lahat sila merong acceleration, pero dito sa second equation, wala tayong xf, although meron tayong xi, wala tayong xf. Okay? So, pwede natin gamitin
yung unang set.
Oo, sinasabi ko lang, obviously yung una ang gagamitin natin. Pero sinasabi ko lang na hindi mo pwedeng gamitin tong dalawa kasi wala tayong final position. So wala tayong choice kundi yung una lang. Kasi there are instances na pwedeng dalawa sa equation, sa tatlong equation na to yung pwede mong gamitin. So, for letter A, ang final velocity is equal to the initial velocity plus the acceleration times time. Assuming constant. Ang final velocity natin is 0. Ang initial velocity natin is 63 meters per second. Okay, hindi ko nilalagay yung unit kasi ano naman siya, naka-SI naman tayong lahat. So, uniform naman. Ang acceleration natin, yun po yung unknown, times yung time natin na 2 seconds. Okay, ililipat ko ngayon si 63. So, magiging negative 63 siya. Si 0, wala nang epekto kasi 0 naman. And then, magiging 2a x. We can divide both sides of the equation by 2. And then, cancel out 2. We get that the acceleration is equal to approximately negative, ilan to? 31.5 meters per second squared. Okay, huwag niyong kakalimutan, squared yan pag acceleration. Sir, bakit negative? Pwede bang maging negative ang acceleration? Yes, acceleration is a vector quantity. Ibig sabihin lang yan, opposite yung direction na acceleration sa velocity. Kung hindi kasi yan magne-negative, hindi babagal yung jet, hindi siya hihinto. No, kasi kung positive yan, madadagdagan at padadagdagan lang yung velocity natin. Kasi remember, acceleration is the change in velocity with respect to time. Ay di kung positive yan, mas bibilis siya, hindi siya hihinto. Okay? Nag-negative yung acceleration natin kasi nga bumagal. From 63 meters per second na velocity, naging 0 meters per second or nag-stop yung ating jet. Okay, so continuing to letter B, sa part B, ang hinahanap po natin is if the jet touches down at initial position 0, what is its final position? So, ang hinahanap natin final position, meron na tayong acceleration. Still, yung mga given natin sa part A, yun pa rin yung given natin dito sa part B. Pero nadagdagan na tayo ng acceleration na negative 31.5. Ang hinahanap ngayon natin is final position. Tignan natin yung formula natin, itong tatlong to. So, saan dyan yung may final position? Pwedeng itong pangalawa at pangatlo. Tama? Meron naman tayong initial velocity, meron naman tayong time, na-solve din natin yung acceleration. So, pwede natin gamitin itong pangalawa. Actually, pati itong pangatlong formula, pwede rin natin gawin kasi meron naman tayong final velocity, meron tayong initial velocity, meron tayong initial position, may acceleration. Masasolve din natin yung final position. Pero, gamitin na lang natin itong pangalawa kasi nandito na kaagad sa left side yung ating final position. Siya mismo yung hinahanap natin dito sa function siya mismo ng final position. So, itong pangalawa na lang. So, yung formula po natin is final position equals initial position plus initial velocity times time plus 1/2 acceleration time squared. Walang problema, given lahat. ng nandito and direct substitution lang ulit. Initial position natin, given po sa letter B, nakalagay dyan, 0. So, ito po ay magzi-0 na. Usually, zero talaga ito. Okay? Not unless, pag in-state niya, dun sa problem, na hindi siya 0, huwag natin gawing 0. Pero kung hindi niya naman sinabi, i-assume nyo na agad na 0 ang initial position natin. Ating initial velocity is 63 meters per second. Okay, hindi ko na ilalagay yung unit ulit. Yung time is 2 seconds plus 1/2. Acceleration as what we've solved in part A, that is negative 31. Kailangan isama mo din yung sign. Negative 31.5 times time squared, which is 2 squared. That would give us 63 times 2 is 126 minus, kasi may negative tayo dito, 126 minus 63. Tama ba? Kasi yung isang 2 makakancel dito, yung 2 matitira. 31.5 times 2, 63. And 126 minus 63, that is 63 din. So, ang kanyang final position ay 63 meters. Okay, let's proceed to example number 2. A race car starting from rest accelerates at a constant rate of 5 meters per second squared. What is the velocity of the car after it has traveled 100 feet and how much time has elapsed? Again, the first thing to do is we identify the given. So, dito ko na isulat sa next page or next slide. What are given? Okay, accelerates at a constant rate of 5 meters per second. Acceleration is 5 meters per second squared. What is the velocity of the car after it has traveled? Okay. Aside from that, although it is not mentioned, it is very clear naman sa problem natin. Sabi niya, a race car starting from rest. Ibig sabihin, nagsimula siya na hindi gumagalaw. So, initially, the car is at rest, means it is at stop or hindi siya gumagalaw. It is not moving. And that would only mean that our initial velocity is 0 meters per second. And then from 0 meters per second, it accelerates. Saka siya gumalaw. So, that is additional information or additional given, which is our initial velocity is 0 meters per second. Now, for part A, we are tasked to determine what is the velocity of the car after it has traveled 100 feet. So, ano yung 100 feet na yon? Na-travel niya na. Ibig sabihin, yun yung position or yun yung displacement. Okay. Ibig sabihin, yung 100 feet na yan, yun yung XF natin. Final position niya is 100 feet. Okay. But before moving forward and solving part A and part B, you can see na hindi po uniform yung ating dimensions. Si acceleration and yung velocity natin, although 0, is in meters per second. Naka-SI unit. Yung ating position, final position, XF, naka 100 feet. So, magiging mali po yung sagot natin kung hindi natin kinonvert either ito or yung dalawang, either yung final position, i-convert natin sa meters, or pwede rin namang yung acceleration, ang i-convert natin sa feet per second squared, and at the same time, velocity, convert it to feet per second. So, before answering or solving, make sure na yung ating dimensions or yung dimension natin pare-parehas. So, the best thing to do is to convert 100 feet into meters. So, if we convert 100 feet into meters, we get that our final position is 30.48. Ano ba yung conversion factor natin? Remember, 1 meter is approximately 3.28 feet. So, mas malaki si meter. Ayan. So, para makuha mo si... approximate lang yan Actually, hindi yan exact. Para makuha mo at ma-convert mo siya into meter, you just divide 100 by 3.28. So, we have 30.48 meters. And, ito na yung gagamitin nating final position because it agrees with the other dimensions. Okay. Now, to solve for part A, let's check what do we have sa given natin. We are given acceleration. We are given initial velocity. We are also given final position. We are asked to get, for letter A, the final velocity when it traveled 100 feet. So, that is the final velocity. Ano yung mga tatlong equation natin? Vxf equals Vxi. Yung unang equation natin, ito yan. Plus acceleration times time. Meron kang initial velocity, yes, given. Pero, meron ka ring acceleration, yes. Pero wala kang time. So, hindi mo pwedeng gamitin itong formula na to. Yung first formula for the part A. Yung second formula natin is in terms of final position, xf equals xi. So, assume natin 0 ulit si xi plus vxit. Again, meron tong time. Hindi pa natin alam kung ilang time yung, or ano yung time. What is the time to reach 30.48 meters? So, still, hindi mo po rin pwedeng gamitin tong second formula.
So the third formula then?
Yes. That gives us the third formula, which is final velocity squared equals initial velocity squared plus 2 times acceleration times xf minus xi. Again, let's assume that the xi or the initial position is 0. Initial velocity is 0 and 0 squared is also 0. So we are left with Vxf squared equals 2ax times xf. Meron tayong mga values niyan. So ang acting acceleration is 5 meters per second squared. Final position 30.48. And that gives us 304.8. No, kasi times 10 lang naman ito, 2 times 5. So 304.8. Pero remember, naka-square yan and we are only asked to find final velocity. So kailangan mo pang i-square root yan para makuha yung final velocity. And that gives us 17.46 meters per second, which is the final velocity. Okay, so for part B, the question naman is, how much time has elapsed? Okay, ibig sabihin, gano'ng katagal or how long before na-reach niya yung 100 feet or na-reach niya rin yung velocity, final velocity na 17.46 meters. Of course, that is asking for the time t, no? Kasi how much time or how long. Pag yung mga ganong question, time yung hinahanap natin. Going back to the given, we have acceleration, we have final velocity, final position. Yung first two equations natin, sila lang yung may equation ng time. And since na-solve naman na natin itong let's go back. Okay. Meron naman tayong final position, meron tayong initial velocity, which is 0. Meron tayong acceleration. So, pwede natin gamitin itong pangalawang equation. Yan. So, for the second equation, or for part B, we use the formula xf equals xi plus vxi t plus 1/2 acceleration time squared. Again, as before, we assume the initial position be equal to 0. Our initial velocity, given naman, it starts from rest, 0 meters per second. So this term will be equal to, or will equate to 0 also. So we are left with xf equals 1/2 axt. Let's check the given. Meron tayong xf, yes, final position. Meron tayong acceleration, yes. Time, yun yung hinahanap natin. So, solving for time, xf is 30.48 meters equals 1/2. Acceleration is 5. Time, yun yung hinahanap natin. So, rearranging the equation, we get cross multiplication, 30.48 times 2. And then, magde-divide tayo ng 5 para mawala yung nasa tabi ni t squared. We get t squared be equal to...
So isn't that supposed to be a negative, Dale?
Where?
I don't know, but you substitute something, or you transpose something, so shouldn't there be...
I didn't transpose. This is multiplication. No, it's like you multiply 2 and then you divide by 5 both sides, so that t squared will remain on the left side. So makakancel si 2, makakancel si 5, so t squared will remain on this side, and then on the right side it is multiplied by 2/5, like so. That's why our equation becomes t squared equals 30.48 times 2 all over 5. No, I didn't transpose anything kasi hindi naman siya naka-minus. Okay. Kapag multiplication siya, hindi mo na kailangang lagyan ng negative. And so from there, we get 30.48 times 2 divided by 5. That is 12.192. Take the square root of both sides to extract t, or to get the value of t, which will give us 3.49 seconds. So, yan. After 3.49 seconds, na-reach niya na yung 30.48 meters na final position or final velocity na 17.46 meters per second. So, my example number 3, sabi niya dito, a car traveling at a constant speed of 24 meters per second passes a trooper hidden behind a billboard. As in the figure. Where is the figure? Sorry, walang figure. 1 second after the speeding car passes the billboard, the trooper sets off in chase with a constant acceleration of 3 meters per second squared. How long does it take the trooper to overtake the speeding car? And letter B, how fast is the trooper going at that time? So there we have two particles here. We have two objects. May isang kotse at may isang trooper or may isang motor. Okay. Wala kasi yung figure, I'm sorry. So meron tayong billboard dito. Dito nakatago yung nagmomotor. Anong itsura ng motor? Ganyan. Motor yan. Tapos nandito yung kotse. Ayan. So, itong kotse, magmo-move siya. Constant daw yung velocity niya or constant speed. So, sabihin na natin, V car. Yung velocity ng car is 24 meters per second. Constant yon. Okay? Ibig sabihin, wala siyang acceleration. And then, pagdaan niya dun sa billboard, nadaanan niya ito yung billboard yung naka-incline to. Nakatago dun yung motor, yung trooper. Pagdaan nung car, 1 second after, so after 1 second, sabihin na natin siguro nandito na yung kotse. Sumunod ngayon itong, this is after 1 second, no? Still, the velocity ng car is 24 meters per second kasi nga constant, hindi nagbabago. After 1 second, sumunod ngayon itong motor. So, yung motor, ang kanyang initial velocity, tawagin na nating V trooper, initial VI ng trooper ay 0 from rest kasi siya. And then it accelerates at a rate of, ano acceleration ng trooper? Tawagin nating T. T for trooper. Ang acceleration niya daw is 3 meters per second. So, ang tanong natin is, how long does it take the trooper to overtake the speeding car? Gaano daw katagal bago mangyari na ma-overtaken nung motor yung car o yung kotse? Okay, ang unang tanong, ma-overtaken ba nung motor yung kotse? Okay. Yes, kasi yung motor nag-a-accelerate siya. Ibig sabihin, nadadagdagan yung velocity niya for every second. For every second, yung velocity niya nadadagdagan ng 3 meters per second. Si velocity ng car, 24 meters per second lang, constant. Hindi yung nag-accelerate. So, merong time na mas mabilis na ngayon si motor, kaya meron yung point, sabihin na natin dito, okay, ma-overtaken na niya, malalagpasan na nung motor yung kotse. Pero remember, 'di ba, bago ma-overtaken ng yung motor yung kotse, darating muna yung point na magpapantay muna sila ng distance. Okay? After that, saka lang ma-overtaken yung malalagpasan ng motor yung kotse. At a certain point before niya ma-overtaken, dapat magpantay muna sila, 'di ba? Bago ma-overtaken, 'di ba? Logical naman. Hindi naman pwedeng bigla na lang niyang na-overtaken nang hindi muna sila nagpapantay ng distance. So, yun yung magiging working concept natin or theory. Magbabase tayo dun sa fact na before niya ma-overtaken, kailangan mag-equal muna sila ng distance. So, yun po yung magiging working equation natin. The final distance for the trooper XFT must equal to the final distance traveled by the car. After which, after this distance and after this time, ma-overtaken niya na. So, mag-equal muna sila ng distance. Pero magkaiba sila ng pinagdadaanan. They are both in different conditions. The car is under constant velocity while the trooper is under constant acceleration. For the car, it is very easy. Sabi ko nga, kapag constant velocity, isa lang yung magiging equation natin. The final velocity or the final position under constant velocity is equal to the velocity times time. Right? So, yun lang yung for the car. XF equals VT. Pero, is the catch. As you can see, sumunod lang po yung trooper 1 second after. Ibig pong sabihin, nakalagpas na ng konti. No, nakalagpas na ng distance. Meron ng certain distance bago nagsimulang umandar yung motor o yung trooper. At ganong kalayo yung distance na yun. Since 1 second lang yun, and then ang velocity niya naman is 24 meters per second, ang distansya nilang dalawa is 24 meters per second times 1 second, 24 meters. So, parang merong head start yung car na 24 meters. So, idadagdag natin yon 24 meters plus yung formula natin for final position, velocity times time. Ang velocity natin for the car is 24 times t. Ginamit natin tong formula na to kasi constant velocity si car, hindi constant acceleration. So, hindi natin pwedeng gamitin yung tatlong equation kay car. Okay? Ito lang talaga ang equation kapag constant velocity. Whereas, pagdating dun sa motor or kay sa trooper, siya na ngayon yung merong constant acceleration. Pero nagsimula siya, initially, 0 meters per second kasi at rest siya. Okay? The trooper sets off in chase. Ano ngayon naman ang equation natin XF for the trooper? Yung formula natin XF, that is XI plus VXIT plus 1/2 acceleration times time. This is for the trooper. Initial position, again, i-assume natin na 0 yon. Initial velocity, again, that is time squared. Initial velocity is 0 again for the trooper. So, matitira lang is 1/2 AXT squared dito po sa ating trooper. So, ano ang acceleration ng trooper? That is 3. T squared equals 24 plus 24t. 1/2 times 3, lagyan na lang nating decimal kasi eksakto naman na 1.5. T squared equals 24 plus 24t. Transpose po natin yung mga nasa right side. Minus 24t minus 24. And we have, ano ito? Ito po ay isang quadratic equation in which dalawa yung solution natin sa time kasi quadratic equation nga. So we can do factor that or we can apply the quadratic formula. Okay, ito pong quadratic formula natin to is hindi siya naka-factor. Para lang mawala yung decimal, I can multiply by 2. So, kapag minultiply natin ng 2, 3t squared minus 48t minus 48 equals 0. And then, as you can see, pwede tayong mag-divide ng 3 para mawala yung coefficient ni t squared. So, when we divide everything by 3, we get t squared minus, ilan yan? 16t minus 16 equals 0. So,
wait, so where did you get the multiplied by 2? The exponent 2.
That's multiplied by 2, not exponent. Yan. I just want to eliminate the decimal para mas madali siyang i-factor or i-apply yung quadratic formula. I eliminated the decimal. Right? And then when we multiply it by 2, we get 3t squared minus 48t minus 48. And as you can see, I can divide both sides by 3 because they are all divisible by 3. And then we are left with t squared minus 16t minus 16. And as you can see, we cannot factor it. Can you think of the factors ng t squared minus 16, t minus 16? We need to use the quadratic formula. Or if you have a calculator, a scientific calculator, you can actually manually input it. But quadratic formula is b negative b b plus minus the square root of b squared minus 4ac all over 2a, where a, b, and c are the coefficients of our quadratic equation. In this case, our a is 1, our b is negative 16, and our c is negative 16. So we get negative of negative 16, that is positive 16, plus and minus the square root of 16 negative 16 squared minus 4 times 1 times negative 16 all over 2 times 1. And that would give us 16 plus and minus the square root of, pag simplify natin yung nasa loob, 16 squared is 256. 4 times 16 is 64. 256 plus 64. Square root of 320. So the square root of 320 divided by 2. Square root of 320 is equal to what? 8 is square root of 5. So 16 plus and minus 8 square root of 5 all over 2, or that is equal to, we can factor out 8 or 2, sorry. So they are both divisible by 2. 16 divided by 2 is 8, plus and minus 8 over 2 for square root of 5. So yan po yung dalawang values natin for time. So dito natin ilagay sa may space. Ang time 1 natin minus plus muna 8 plus 4 square root of 5. Ang time 2 natin is 8 minus 4 square root of 5. Yung 8 minus square root ng yung 8 minus 4 square root of 5 will give us a negative number. So hindi po pwedeng maging negative yung time because nagpo-progress yung time natin. So we will only consider the time which is positive. So absurd po. Okay, disregard natin itong T2. So ang final answer natin for time is 8 plus 4 square root of 5 seconds. Or in decimals, that is 16.94 seconds. Yun po yung final answer natin. Okay, part B. Oh, sorry. How fast is the trooper going at that time? So for the trooper, okay, I'll just write it here. The trooper has an acceleration of 3 meters per second squared. The initial velocity of the trooper is 0 meters per second. And it will overtake the car after 16.94 seconds. We are asked to find how fast. So that means we are looking for the velocity and particularly the final velocity. Okay, because we already have the initial. So from our first equation or first formula, final velocity is equal to initial velocity plus acceleration times time. The initial velocity is 0. So this term will become 0. And therefore, our final velocity is equal to acceleration 3 times the time, which we derived from first part, 16.94. And that is equal to 50.82. meters per second.